and the sound so profound, full of delightful illumination, fills this temple with a pleasant vibration. The journey begins, although the sage may know where he intends to go. The outcome is always a variable, destination perhaps unknown. Solitude and reflection enhances the dragon and the phoenix connection. By chance, his mind unlocks the key. That's showbiz. To his future state of luxury, statuesque poses. Welcome to It's a New Day. My name is James Young. And today my guest is?
Hosea Samuel Taylor Jr.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm an older guy. I'm a somebody. A nobody trying to be a somebody. I'm from Carmel, Maryland, born, raised in Pittsburgh, PA, a little college, etc. like that. Musician. I like fashion clothes, like sewing, making clothes, things like that.
Okay, artistic.
Well, altruistic.
Okay.
That kind of thing, sir.
How long have you been playing the horn?
I've been playing this saxophone for 7 years. I played the tenor for 15 years. And before that, there was a time period of 40 years that I didn't play. I played clarinet in high school, but that was it.
Brought your interest to becoming a musician? Usually it's girls, but I don't know.
My father's a musician, was a
Okay.
musician.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the years, that's all we knew. But I had stopped, I had tried not to become a musician, but I was a martial artist.
Mm.
So my mother was, my father was passing at a time period, so my mother taught me some songs before she left, and I picked up the saxophone and I played because Mr. Willie Lightfoot went to Pittsburgh, PA and saw that my father played an instrument, and my father told him I did. Mr. Rowdy Young from United Way found out I played, so he started taking pictures outside of Madison High School. Before it was Madison, New Madison, and he started taking pictures of me in front of the sign to be built in Madison High School with a saxophone. And he encouraged me over and over and over again. So I started playing with the Swan Southwest Community Band for about 15 years. Mr. Lightfoot's dream was to start a school so that we can interpret and so we can help other youngsters play. Since the music here was kind of like devoid for young people in the city.
Oh, you think so? I thought Rochester was pretty well known for its music, because a long time ago we used to have the Pithard Room, because of the Eastman School of Music, the Hotstein School of Music. We've had some great jazz musicians come in here. I'm
All over the
surprised.
world.
Okay.
All over the world. In fact, one of my finest friends, one of my godfathers and friends came here, Stanley Turntine.
Yeah.
And I saw him about before he died, and we talked about it. He remembered me when I told him something about when he was at my house in Pittsburgh. And he came to Pithard often, such like that, Grant Green, people like that. And no, that's not the case. The case is that when these instruments they cost a little bit, a lot of money. I'm actually a clarinetist. Most inner city kids play a clarinet, but they quit because of the fact that it hurts their hands to hold that clarinet. The clarinet's off stage, of course, over there.
Okay.
And a lot of times they don't like the music, but they're not encouraged to continue to play. You see, no older people come in to try to encourage them. They don't have people who look like them or sound like them or play like them to come and encourage them at their home. When I recruited for the Swan Community Band, I would go into the kids' home to get them. Knock on the door, take my horn, go to the homes and become familiar with them and bring their children back to a location that they would be comfortable with, and the parents would come and support the situation.
Before we talk about the movie, I'd like to really stay right here for a minute. What do you think about the music today and young people with music really not knowing what real instruments sound like? Everything is synthesized. Well, as a musician, how does that impact you? Well, what are your thoughts about the music of today?
I'll start here. I had a little Facebook account. My cousin's a DJ up in Detroit. He makes music. His thing today was, I thought DJing was about being creative and doing new music, not rapping, singing, hollering all over the doggone thing. I thought DJ was scratching, making more music, taking old with new, and creating new things. He's about maybe 27 years old. He's disappointed as a DJ. Now, to get to the part of music and such like that, young people today don't have the history of music because a lot of the older folks are not sharing their love of music with them. They understand the passion of love with relationships with not only women, but what they're doing, whether it's cooking, whether it's agriculture, or what they're doing. I hear music all the time, whether I play it or not, because I'm encouraged by the people around me. Earl Gardner, Turntine, such like that. I've been around them quite a ton, Rollins, and by them just speaking to me off the stage was so important to me.
I've only looked at it from a historical point of view. I keep saying that we aren't leaving anything, we're not giving anything to these young people. And I see that we're doing more than just from a cultural. I mean, we're not doing anything, passing down the music, the history. I mean, we're just leaving such a void here.
It's a language.
Yeah.
And it's not just the music. Sometimes it's the titles of the music. My father has a book called Dirt Street. Obama has the same book. And I asked my father, I said, Dad, let me come on before you pass away, well, let me come and learn Pittsburgh and learn some more music, since I'm a beginner at this thing, even at my age. He said, you don't need to come, son. What you need to do is listen, look at those songs I have on the album, and take those as standards. So I looked at the titles, things like All You Are, Midnight Sun, um, songs like Be Who You Are, some different songs. The titles are so encouraging. As I looked at the titles and saw the things that he was saying to me through the years, I said, oh, All of Me, Autumn Leaves. I said, goodness gracious. Billy Strayhorn's pieces. I started studying Billy Strayhorn. I started putting it together, the life of a musician and how they were trying to just be new people in their area. They were ostracized, just like being black or Negro, whatever, tall or skinny. The musicians had to find their own way and had to create different things, different meets and different genres that you just couldn't go play anywhere because people who were making money weren't going to let you get up there and play. So you had to come with something new or something different, but also something catchy. Not only in music was just learning how to play the song, you had to learn how to read music when necessary. You had to learn how to get along with the other players there and play along with them. So there's so much involved with music that people don't want to share because they don't take time to do that.
Please tell us about the movie. What's the name of the movie?
The movie is called Judgment Night.
Okay, what is this about?
Well, this was a surprise because I was sitting on the bench a couple times and playing, and the Rasta Lavon keeps following me. He keeps taking pictures of me. I didn't know what.
Would you explain who Rasta Lavon is?
Rasta Lavon is a good friend of mine. He's the director of this film.
Okay.
He's a gentleman who I saw about 20 years ago in a martial arts area, who I took a look at and I said, wow, what a great skinny fighter. I met him again at Village Gate, where I had a store where I was selling commodities like oils, incense, things like that on Village Gate. And I saw how intelligent he was and how he carried himself around society. I've watched him for years. And I watched him on a skateboard. Then now he has a camera taking pictures of me. And he just keep on doing it. And I'm, oh, wow, what is this guy doing? And he catches me at the best moments of my play. He started doing it. Now here comes Eli Reed from Magnum, same thing. Here comes Aisha Ash. She comes up. Jamal Thompson. Here comes all these people, all of a sudden seeing him do it. Now here comes Trey Esm. And now everybody takes pictures of me now. That's all they do without me playing. So this guy, Rasta Lavon, has been a great coach for me. He's a great coach. He inspires me. He talks about me bad, but he takes the pictures and he encourages me no matter what.
Is this in relationship to what Judgment Night is about? How close to is this movie to real life?
The real life is that when I'm on the bench speaking and talking to people, I get a chance to play they inspire me to play certain types of tunes. And they tell me all in confidence their ideas and thoughts. And sometimes they might say something to me and I'll play it out for them. They ask me about my instrument. That gives them a chance to talk to me about their history, about their family. I get a chance to talk to them about the things and places I've been. Not only about the music, it gives me a chance to talk to them about other things in life. And they are encouraged by my age. They'll sit down sometime, close their eyes, and just sit there. So I am not in judgment of them, but I give them a chance of understanding consequence to things you do and the sequence it takes me to learn this instrument. And see, there are sequences of doing things in a proper manner can be successful and not necessarily a negative consequence. So I try to inspire them with this. So the judgment is not judge me not, but by their actions they can judge themselves. I'm just a reflection, and the music is a reflection of their feelings.
When will this movie be ready for viewing?
Well, hopefully, we're going to have it viewed next year. We're going to try and get some work on it. It's already shot and almost finished. The basic pieces, I've been caught off guard. I didn't know what the director was doing, so I didn't have a chance to resist. I didn't get a chance to put the makeup on or anything like that. But he has certain things that's caught me on moments what made me excel. They caught me at the right time. My father just passed, and all my memories of all the music is there, all the feelings are there. He caught me raw. So I don't have time to say, well, let me play this and let me play that. It's right here, right now. So the judgment is, in the reality, it's the real of the time, of the nowness. And that's what the music is capturing. And that's the feeling he's capturing throughout the whole music. I don't get a chance to fake it.
Very good.
I'm a martial artist too, like him. So he's just like we're sparring, but he's like a coach. He's taking me by my hand and says, okay, over here a little bit. He knows Judgment Night, and that means I have to be real right then. That's what I learned from Stanley and Ahmad Jamal, All of them have been in my house.
Is this your first movie?
It's my first movie. I've done a lot of great things this year, but I didn't know it was a movie.
Okay.
I didn't know it was a movie. I have some other things that I'm doing that people are shooting of me in the acting part, but they're not catching me barren like this.
Okay. So you have some more projects in the works?
Oh, indeed I
Okay.
do.
Okay.
In fact, I have things with 585 Crossing Paths with Trey Essam, doing some things with that. But I think I'm gonna stay with this movie company, this young man who's coaching me,
Okay.
because I had to, one thing about music and one of the younger kids, if you don't have a coach or someone in your corner who encourages you, a spiritual coach or about whatever you're doing, it's not gonna happen. You give up. People send you different ways. I don't think that's gonna happen because everything I've dealt with him is platinum.
Very good.
And he's not my best person to talk about either. I have some other things to say, but don't forget now, he's a drummer also.
Okay.
And we did a piece called Family Night at East High School, and his drumming, it's easy for me to pick up the rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years ago, he did some taping of me at the Underground Cafe, and he's doing a djembe, but it's once more. And I'm able to glide over the top of it and not worried about his part. So these things encourage me. So a lot of times the other young people don't have anyone who will come to them and comfort them like that.
So once again, Judgment Night is about what?
Judgment Night is about a nowness. Okay. And people will be judged for who they are and what they say. Faith has to have proof, and proof has to have faith. And you have to encourage yourself to be operative in your meditation and in what you carry out every day.
Well, I'm quite sure that I, as well as the viewing audience, we can't wait to finally view this movie and also hear you play. I believe that in the next segment, we're going to bring on the director, and I believe we're going to throw some clips in. I think he's brought some clips of you playing, and we're going to put those in, so we're looking forward to that. Is there anything that you would like to say before leaving to young people and about what you're doing, and especially at this stage of your life?
At this stage of my life, I try to encourage folks to play. My favorite songs I play at the public market are Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I play the Hokey Pokey. I play songs that they're familiar with to encourage them to write their own words. I'm right now associated with I'm working with some people here at the Rochester Oratorio Society, and they're encouraging me to encourage others to come to different plays they have and different concerts, free. So I can show the people in the community how to sing or how to present themselves, things they're not doing. This movie encourages me, it gives me a platform to be able to talk to people in the community of what I'm doing. Come to find out, all the people who sing in the Oratorio Society generally are instrumentalists. Mm. Our community do not know how to read music or write music. So I would like them to encourage it to come out more, to take a look at it as a business, as a marketing, as a cultural arise. Yes, Rochester is a grand city for music, but they will be left out of all things if they don't use that as part of their cultural education. Mm-hmm. Holistic health.
All right, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, sir.
And today my guest is?
Lavon Jones.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Lavon Jones, and I'm a film director in Rochester, New York. And I'm an artist. I deal with a lot of different types of media. I do a little everything. I play drums. But my big forte right now is making movies.
Okay. Well, you jumped right into making movies, so let's just jump into making movies. Tell us about your background. How did this all begin? How do you get the idea, I'm going to make a movie, and then actually start that whole process? And for many of us, when we think about making a movie, we're thinking about the home cameras, the home movies, and that whole thing. And then when we actually talk about going in production to actually make a film, most people become so intimidated because now they're saying that there's just no way that can happen. So how do you say, I'm going to be a director. And how do you get into the mindset? What is it that motivated you into this direction?
Actually, when I got to Channel 15, a lot of people wanted to have TV shows, but I didn't want to let nobody know what my.
Would you explain, when you say you got to Channel 15, how did that process take place? What happened at Channel 15?
Oh, Channel 15 is the local TV station in Rochester, New York, where I took and got my degree in editing and producing.
Okay.
I took the class, and I was able to like get on-hand experience in directing and film, to be able to like not only be able to like film a project, but to be able to like edit it and finish it, like putting the final touches on it, like as far as wise stuff that you don't want in the film, or stuff that you want to add, or you want to put words or titles like that. So that was one of the things that I learned at Channel 15. So by initially engaging and being around people that were in the film and into TV, it's like I always had this ideal that I wanted to do film, but I had like that, I had some knowledge of it, but then like when the more I started to research, I found a lot more things as far as wise post-production and proposal, raising money for film. I found out how much it really cost to like really fund a film, you know, and especially being a black director, I found out like, you know, that it's why there's not that many black directors. But like for some reason it didn't deter me, because when I tried to get in the industry on the other side, behind the camera, I had like a lot of people like trying to deal with me in certain kind of ways with that casting couch, you know, trying to say like, hey, Rasta Lavon is kind of cute, you know, you do this and, you know, we can, you know, make this happen. So as an actor, you know, I didn't want to go through that. So I ended up being homeless in New York. I was in New York, I'm not ashamed to say it. I was in New York trying to make it. So from that, when I got back to Rochester, like I had like, for a minute, I was in I went through a state of depression. I was like depressed, and you know, I thought I had really failed and I didn't make it. I went to New York City and I had to come all the way back, you know, and everybody with the, I told you so, and you know, you should come on home. My mom was like, yeah, baby, come on home, you know. I told you not that big bag city, so when I got back, but still, like, it was just something kept telling me that, like, you know, it's still not over. That, like, you know, and I never had the ideal that I would be a director. You know, I thought that was just like, you know, really big thing, but it is a really big thing. So I started like doing a lot of research on like going on YouTube, looking up a lot of different stuff. And then I met a film director by the name of Lavon Nicole, which is a black woman film director, has a film out called, she's called The Filmstress. So she gave me a lot of like details as far as like grants, proposals, and how to like properly like you know, shoot a film. So from there, when I got that, then I was just like, you know, I was on my way. That gave me like a lot of, I had like more ideal. My thing was like, the more you know, the more you can get paid.
Of course.
So as I found out about proposals and grants and stuff like that, so I had all of that under my belt. So then my first initial was like, what kind of movie do I want to do? So my first thing was, I had this one film that I had started up called I One, which was like in the making of, but it was so controversial till I had to like back off it. So then like I had another project that I had started called Judgment Night, which I met this saxophone player that was from Pittsburgh, that was here in Rochester. And like he just struck my attention as a youth, as I always watched this guy. And he was such a character, like with the martial arts and selling incense and stuff like that. So I had went to New York, and I was playing drums in New York. And also I'm a drummer too. A lot of people don't know that I'm a drummer. So I started playing drums in New York, and when I got to New York, I was playing one congo. But like for some odd reason, my timing was like impeccable. So all these different musicians, when they heard me play, would just send me all around the place to play with all these different people. So I ended up playing with all these heavy jazz cats that I didn't even know. So long story short, when I got back to Rochester and I'm downtown and I see this guy who I never seen with a saxophone player standing out on the Main Street playing the sax. And I'm like, man, am I going crazy? I'm like, I never knew, I'm like, you never told me you could play sax. It's like, yeah, I've been playing sax, and my father I'm from Pittsburgh originally, and my father was a jazz musician. So then like after that, we started playing together. We play open mics and like, you know, poetry and stuff like that. And we just built this chemistry. So then like, after a while, like, so then I started getting into film, and then like, when I started getting into film, I just had this idea to do this movie, and it just came to me. It was called, like the title came to me, it was called Judgment Night, because I was just so awed that this person was like keeping this style of music like going on, no matter how much money was coming in, how much popularity, how much people were paying attention, this person was just keeping this style of music up, which even inspired me to go to college, to the local college, to learn more about jazz. I had like a pretty much ideal of like how I wanted the movie. I had my vision, my creativity. So what I had to do was like to be able to shoot this movie, I couldn't really let people be on to like what I was doing, because I knew I would get this. You can't do no movie, and it's not gonna, so I couldn't let everybody be privy. So what I would do is just set up these certain scenarios and situations and just let people be themselves, and I would catch it in like the interview. We have a segment of the movie where it's an interview with a host and Mr. Taylor, and they don't even know that I'm filming the movie right there. So the dialect is going back and forth. So bam, that was one section. I got that out of the way. One time I caught him downtown playing on the bench. Got that out of the way. Caught him at another point. I set up this meeting with the piano player and me and Jose Taylor, but I didn't tell Jose Taylor the movie was for him. I told him it was the other guy's movie. So I had all, like me, myself, I would say that I'm a genius, because like you wouldn't have think that somebody would have come up with this concept, but just being in Rochester, being with like the funds that I had, being with like, you know, getting the availability of putting a cast together, that like I knew that I had to be like very like, you know, privy of like how I would go about these things. So I ended up getting like the 3 main parts of my movie shot. So then after that, then I let people on to what I was doing. So then when they all found out what I was doing, they was like, oh, wow, you didn't even tell me you was making a movie. And Jose was like, oh, you didn't tell me that the movie was for me. I thought I was in his movie. And the other guy's like, I didn't know you were shooting a movie in my house. So after that, long story short, Judgment Night was like pretty much like 75 to 85% done.
I've seen clips of the movie, and we'll show some clips here for the viewing audience. But what I wanted to ask you, is this movie and the relationship of the title Judgment Night or Judgment Day?
It's Judgment Night.
Your Judgment Night. Is this about the music? Because this is old bebop jazz. I mean, this isn't that Boney James or what is the Kenny G, thing, which they call jazz. That's just commercialism. But what you're portraying in the movie is real bebop jazz, the real essence of jazz, the way it was intended, its origin. And is that part of what you're saying in this movie? You're presenting the origin and letting people, maybe if you will, compare today's music and letting people see what that jazz is. And for instance, like you're catching Jose downtown on a bench playing. I mean, there's so much difference from being hypothetically Kenny G and in the studio making commercial music for $1 versus sitting downtown playing your music for the joy and the love of music.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point that you made, because that's what I was trying to capture, because I show Jose Taylor like 3 different places playing music. So then You have to, you'll hear him like, I caught him at a point where he was on a bench playing, and like the sound of the music, like it's in its essence and it's in its time. It captured a certain time or a way he was feeling when he was playing at that time. Okay, so then you have that segment of the music. Then I have him like where he comes on a TV show where a TV host like wants him to come to the show to be interviewed, and he has to play on the show. So now he has the cameras on him. So that gives, now you get to hear that style of music on the spot, real raw, real live jazz. And that's what, like, you made a good point. That's what I wanted to show the people, because that's why you have to use your judgment. The music is the star. The music is on trial. The music is, none of it's rehearsed. There wasn't no one take, no two take, three takes. So now the climax is Jose, a drummer and a piano player playing together. So you get to hear all these three different facets of like this horn playing of his sound or his style of music. So the music is really the star. It's like I really, it's like a musical. It's like it's my own musical, but like it's with the jazz, with the music speaking.
Okay, so the viewing audience should be aware that this isn't a production done in a big blockbuster manner.
Yeah.
This is a basic film highlighting the essence of an individual's life, as well the music that this person generates. And I can see the essence, and I'm quite sure when the viewing audience looks at some of the clips, that they'll see that how well you were able to capture the essence of the man and the music without destroying or overwhelming the man and his music.
Yeah, and like I say, if you see anything else that's done with Jose Taylor, nobody will be able to capture him like I capture him, because I wanted to capture him raw. I didn't want him like to be like in strip form or any line. Even though as a movie director, I still tell a story. It tells a story. It has a story where where it's not just a documentary. It has script. We have the script. Everything is written out. There's lines. Even I play the part of a drummer. So I'm like in there. And actually, I'm not lip syncing on the drums. I'm playing jazz drums in this. So you're getting to see me as a director, like with my vision, and also like stepping in, which is like one of my one of the people who I'm inspired. I can't help but to be inspired by Spike Lee, because he is one of the most prevalent black film directors, and like he's I took that on like with him, like taking roles into my own film, but like with the essence of the music and like the man himself, and also the time that the music is being judged in. It's being judged in a time where bebop is not popular.
Exactly. That's what makes the movie.
Oh.
So I like the term that you use, raw footage, because that's what makes the film so raw.
Yeah.
Because we have this almost lost style of music, bebop jazz, and we and you have had the audacity, if you will, in 2013 to arrogantly, if you will, present this to the world and let them make the judgment. I think that it's very artful.
Thank you.
I think that what the film also does, it allows the viewer to make a judgment, if you will, whatever that judgment may be. And I think that that's truly the true work of an artist, is to constantly leave the viewer with their own sense of their interpretation. And I think that that's what makes a good artist, is how many people can interpret your work, regardless if it's thousands of different interpretations. The fact of the matter is that people are looking at the work, and I think that the work is something that is definitely needed. I mean, there are two things that I'm looking at. you being a director, because now you're telling a story, and I say our story, a black story. You're telling a story our way, if you will. If you want everybody to be a hero in the story, you have the ability to do that.
Exactly.
And I think that that's one of the things that we're missing. I want to come back to the movie, but you touched on something when you were talking about Spike Lee and the lack of black directors, producers. Let's talk about that a little bit further. Let's go into that a little bit more. I think that what you're doing is something that is really needed, and hopefully that you're going to encourage some more black people to get involved in this. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, that's like I say. I was inspired by a black by a black film director that's a woman. Actually, it's another one, Fallon Davis. See, we have like a lot of what you call already said, and Quentin Tarantino said that black people don't come to their own movie. Was it? I think it was him or either George Lucas, one of the directors. A white director is saying this. That like black people don't come and see their own movies. So that's why people are not like invested in black movies. It's like we got to start like coming supporting like our movies, and that's why me as a film director, I'm trying to do something different, and I'm trying to do something of a quality, and not just do anything that's based on the storyline of all the stuff that like has been done by the directors already, where the boy meets a girl and fall in love, and all of that type of stuff. I'm trying to take it somewhere different. Because just like I tell people, I'm like, a lot of black people have a lot of good ideals when it comes to like movie ideals, but like first thing they say, I want to make a hood movie. I'm like, don't tell me you want to make a hood movie, just tell me you want to make a movie. Whatever it's dealing with, if it's dealing with love, boy meets girl, if it's dealing with rebellious or repatriation, anything. It's just it doesn't have to be in a black. Cause see, with my film, I'm dealing more as an artist, but it's coming from a black perspective, and I want people to know that too. Because like I say, my creativity is like I rely on it, and my imagination, I rely on it.
You know, that's something that I think that as we become adults, somehow we stop using our imagination, our creativity. We are told now that we are adults.
Yeah.
And now
Stop dreaming.
That's for kids.
Stop
And now,
playing.
stop playing. Now this is the real world. Pick up that lunch bucket and go to work.
See, I don't call it. See, I don't say I don't work. I play.
Yes.
It's like whenever people like I'm done playing, because when you play harder than you work. Because when you work, you get fed up, but when you play till you tired, and then you rest, and then you get back up and you play again. So I don't like to consider I never consider what I do work. I consider it play.
Okay.
Always.
What else do you have in the works? Before we go there, we need to let the viewing audience know that they can't readily go. This won't be in the box office.
Oh yeah.
This is going to be in a film festival.
Yeah.
Would you speak with where it's actually going to be presented, and will the viewing audience be able to come to the film festival to see this, or will there be a showing?
This is I know a lot of people that's been a part of the projects that supported me. Everybody's waiting to know where they can see it. I have to find out what is the stipulation, because like once again, when you're making a film, it's a lot that goes into making a film. You just don't make a film and then you just start selling a DVD or like on the block. And especially when you start to deal with film festivals. So I got to find out what is the procedure like for me to put it into like the film festival after I show at the film festival, because like I'm trying to get to the Cannes Film Festival. I'm not trying. With the support of like all the people out here, like I know that I'll be able to submit my film to the Cannes Film Festival. After it shows, then after that it'll be ready for production, and then I also will have a showing in Rochester at the little theater, where I'll have tickets, and I'll have a host of like the first people I can pack the place in, which I would also have a live performance with Jose Taylor, me, and Danny Sullivan.
Okay.
So not only will you get to see the movie, you'll get to hear a live music also, which will also be a soundtrack to it also.
the original movie in the state that it's in right now, it's 30 minutes?
30 minutes.
Okay. From that, after the film festivals and you're marketing this, should the film catch on, then will you then turn it into a full production?
Oh,
or-
most
okay.
definitely. That's in the way. That's like another thing for filmmakers out there. Like, if as a filmmaker, you can't say you're a filmmaker to your first film.
Okay.
So you can say I'm a filmmaker, and I'm a filmmaker, but if you ain't got a film made or a film that you didn't put your name out and you didn't promote it out, you can't say you're a filmmaker. So this is my first film as a filmmaker. So this is the one that like where I can say I'm a filmmaker now. So from when this film is done, definitely 30 minutes. I'm letting a lot of filmmakers know, like, you don't have to go big budget. You can even just do like a small segment of the movie of a major film just to get it out there, to get like people who are like interested in the ideal, who might like see something in the film and want to invest to make it a full a major length film. So this is what we are looking for with Judgment Night, and I have no doubt in my mind that somebody will want to get this film and like take it to like a different take it to a different level, because I can see a lot of different people want to play the part of Jose Taylor, and like with the music and everything. And I have like other scenes that like when you see the storyline, I'll be doing the bios of all the different characters, so people will know like a little bit more about the movie. And we'll also have a page, Facebook, for Judgment Night, the movie anyway, so you'll be able to keep up with all the people who support, like all the flyers. We have T-shirts and we'll have mugs, so you'll know everything that's going on with the movie. Because actually, this is for Rochester. This is the movie making place.
Are young people attracted to this kind of music, or have young people moved away from this? Do you see this as an opportunity, and if young people have moved away, do you view this as an opportunity where we can bring young people back into this music? Because it is such a part of our culture, part of our history here in America.
Yeah, that was my whole thing with like going with this movie and with this music, with jazz. By me going to study jazz American history at MCC and studying with Professor Narges, which was my teacher at my professor at MCC, who like really gave me a lot of insight on jazz, and he told me, like, he was a teacher, but he's like, yo, you got more of a chance to be in this thing called jazz than I do, because I'm just a professor. It's like my eyes didn't stop here as a teacher, but as a player and as a role into this thing called jazz, you have like a really good chance to like make history, and that's what I intend to make with this film, because like it's really a part of history. Jazz is a part of history. When I went to study, I learned a lot. I learned so much about jazz that I didn't even know. I learned about like how it started off with the slaves playing like the drums during Sunday when they had church service in Louisiana. Then you would have the marching band of the people who played in the marching band or the military, and then the musicians got together and they started to play together, and out of that came jazz. Because with jazz, it has to be improvisation, it has to swing. It has to swing, and it definitely has to have like rhythm.
Very good.
So,
Are young people, do they like this music, or are they attracted? Because I find that the music has changed so much that most of the music that we hear today is synthesized. I mean, unfortunately, people don't even know don't know what a saxophone really sounds like,
Right.
because they're listening to a synthesized saxophone or these drum rolls and beats that they now pump out on these mixers. How do you feel about that? Once again, is this part of the message that you're trying to get to young people to, I mean, once again, really understand? As Jose said earlier in the show, when he mentioned the fact that the older generation is not passing this down, and therefore this is dying on the vine, if you will. And so maybe, hopefully, with this movie, that this will begin to encourage people to continue to keep this part of our culture alive.
Yeah, that's a very good point. You're totally right because that's what I really was trying to like entail. I'm trying to let people to know that like this is part of your history instead of like looking away from it or like thinking that it's the past because actually it was the future. It like paved the way for all the music that's going on now. And for you to forget the past and try to deal with the future, and that's what's going on now because people don't want to deal with the jazz musician. They rather have synthetic music. They rather have somebody that's in like studio contracting that like making synthetic saxophone sounds and drum rolls and stuff like that. You're not getting the improvisation. You're not getting like the element of like building a song and people feeling the vibrations. So this is really was like, you know, it wasn't like no mistake by chance. This is like, you know, I felt that like it was something that it had to be done.
Well, I mean, once again, I can definitely appreciate you being a director, and I'm not ashamed to say a black director, because I strongly believe, and I make no apologies for this, I strongly believe that we need more people that look like us telling our story, because we have other segments of this community writing and telling us what we are about.
That's true.
And that's the reason why I'm so very much impressed with what you're doing, the story that you're telling, the manner in which you're telling this story, because we've kind of forgotten this stuff. We have let a lot of this just go by, and we are now almost culturally bankrupt.
Yeah.
I mean, this is almost a self-imposed ethnic cleansing that has been imposed on us, and we are going along with this willingly. And I'm not here to criticize the modern music or what these young people are doing today, because this is revolutionary right now for this particular period of time. But I think that where the difference is the mentality of the music, what the music makes you feel. I grew up during a period of time where the music was a representation of that time period of the era. Okay, we were going through the civil rights movement, so the Impressionists would sing "Keep on Pushing." Okay, we were discovering our cultural identity. James Brown, "I'm Black and I'm Proud," and on and on and on with those particular songs. Ain't no stopping me now. Whereas in today's song, I mean, we're just singing about and talking about things, well, in my mind, that don't make any sense. And that's where Judgment Night, I think that this is capturing us and is making us look right back at ourselves, because we have stepped out of ourselves, if you will. And I think, and I also think that that's what a good storyteller is supposed to do.
Yeah.
I think a good director is supposed to make us stop thinking about our lives, our own personal stories, and pay attention to the story that you're telling.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do because I didn't want to put it in a sense of like it's based on like it's so like easy. I didn't want to give it away because even from the initial scene, it has a scene where like just him leaving his house and going downtown to get ready to go play on the bench, and just from there, I shot like over maybe 100 different shots. Different shots. I had to like set the camera up to shoot to get him from his house to downtown. And I also like to thank RTS bus company who gave me clearance to be able to shoot on the bus. You know, See, that's another thing too. A lot of film directors know you just can't just go and start shooting different places.
We'll show that clip to the viewing audience as well, because I remember when you first showed it to me, I would say, "Well, how did you get this bus in here? I mean, did you rent this bus?" But those are very good points.
Yeah. I was very fortunate. Like, you know, I didn't have no idea of what they would say if they would let me use the bus to like shoot a movie. But I went and I spoke to some people, and they were very nice, and they welcomed me, and they gave me the clearance to go shoot on the bus, and I was like very, very grateful to them. And also like Channel 15, which is like a lot of the equipment and a lot of the editing, apparatus that I had to use came through them. So, you know, I'm very grateful for them being able to like be able to shoot my movie, because Father's Rise, like, you know, being able to have a Mac computer to be able to do my editing 24/7, because you know, as an editor, you want to be able to get on that thing, eat some lunch, go take a nap from the headache, and then get back up 4 o'clock in the morning if you want to work on it, you know.
Exactly.
So, and we're almost at that stage too, the final stage. So we'll be getting like fundings from this, even from this this interview right here. This will be part of the post-production. A lot of people will be able to see this, find more about this film, and be able to, like, you know, contribute and make this a big success. Because I have no doubt, I never had no fear. I never had, like, you know, anything about, I never went about, oh man, it's so hard for a black man to make a movie. I wasn't gonna deal with that. I was gonna make a movie no matter what it took, legally, not illegally, but legally. Whatever I had to do, I was gonna make this movie. And I found out about grants, and I found out about programs like Kickstart, where they help fund projects. There's so many different ways. So, you know, I never had no doubt in my mind.
I have to throw this out at you. Piracy. See, before you have any movies, and when you're in the hood, in the neighborhood, and you get a little bootleg film coming through the neighborhood, yeah, that's good. But now that you're making movies,
I won't forget you, baby. Because I even got like, I like to let everybody know James Young is the producer of the year at Channel 15. And I'm glad that he has me on his show, because I couldn't be on my own show. It would be like a little too, like, you know, like stroking your own, you know. But I'm glad that you have me on your show, and that you have this forum that I could come here and like address and be able to like let people know about like this movie, because I'm gonna like run with this.
And I also think, I think you know me well enough by now that anything with the stamp of Rochester on it, I'm right there promoting it. And that's one of the things that I like about this film. As I said, you're going to see the bus, I think it's the 6th Jefferson.
Yeah.
Okay, so anybody that...
No, the Thurston.
Oh, the Thurston.
Yeah.
Anybody that has lived in Rochester 2 minutes, when you see that bus, you know where that bus is going. So you know that this is a movie about this community.
Yeah.
This is a movie about people that look like you and I. This is a movie that is telling a story about people like you and I, that's depicting a story of an individual. This is his life. You know, one of the things that I've noticed, the difference between a civilized person and an uncivilized person, is that the uncivilized person thinks they have to conquer the world. And that's what they set out to do. But what they fail to realize is the only reason why they conquer the world is because civilized people allow them to do it, because we're so busy being civilized and just enjoying life. So therefore, we don't have to control and conquer for us to feel like we're someone. And I think that that's what you're doing with this movie. That's what is being depicted with Jose as the character. Here's a guy living his life. Here's the rhythm of life as he hears it. Gets up, goes and plays his horn. Maybe not in Carnegie Hall, you know,
Yeah,
maybe not at the Apollo. Okay, maybe these are not sold out performances, but he's playing to the universe. So who is to say that that isn't a sold out concert?
Judgment, right?
Okay, exactly.
There he goes again with the title, because like, and another thing too, like, it's all in the title, it's all in the name.
Yeah.
Because like with it, it has so many different things. Cause also, you know, it ain't over to Gabriel blows the horn, right?
Exactly.
Judgment Night.
Exactly.
And these are all the things that I was playing with when I came up with the title. I talked with another film director, African film director, who told me, it's like, when you're about to do a movie, talk to different people about your ideals. And if they hear the ideal and they say it's good, then you know you got a good ideal. So these are like, I was getting a lot of different advices from a lot of different directors. Another thing too, Rochester Movie Makers is another thing. I try to keep myself around people and rubbing elbows around people who's doing what I'm doing. It makes no difference, like, you know, what their ethnic background or what it is. If they're making movies, I want to be around them because we do have something in common. So I try to keep myself surrounded. Also, I'm working on, I have an up-and-coming film, a documentary that I'm working with in New Jersey. I met this empress named Zena, who contracted me to do film directing for a movie. They came up with an ideal for a movie called Stolen from Africa. So I got the job, I'm directing that. So that's another project that I got coming up also.
Okay.
So.
Well, we're looking forward to the work that you're doing. I want to encourage you to keep the work up that you're doing. I'm very proud to be able to say that I worked with you over at the studio. And thank you so much for coming in. And I think that you have left us with just one thought. This is Judgment Night. Thank you so much.
Thank you, James Young.
Okay.
Thank you for having me on your show.
My name is James Young. I look forward to seeing you next week. Be blessed, and remember, it's a new day.